Oh my gosh. It feels like this is working. Maybe it was my computer all along. Can't trust that computer, apparently. I don't know. I'm going to try to share this with a bunch of people, see if we can get some people out ready to go. But it feels like connecting. We're going to get, so I'm going to get through as many of your start sit questions. I don't know. The one thing that I can do is just kind of go through and try to knock out as many questions as possible. Perhaps you guys can check it out. Oh my gosh, I got to look down at the camera now. Oh, hey, I'm not looking up there anymore. So there's a lot of questions everybody has. I saw them. Let's just run through the games real quick. Again, apologize to anybody who is trying to get through on Facebook Live. That did not work. I'm going to have to do it from my phone from now on. I apologize. Plus, the camera's all ridiculous. I can't see how cool my t-shirts are with these cameras. So there's 2 people watching. So that's actually a pretty good sign. So thank you for that. I wish I could see chats. This is new for me. This is new. I'm new to this medium. So we're just rolling through right now. We're going to look back at this one and be like, we're dorks. Or at least I'm a dork. Trying to figure this stuff out. Go to my memberships. There it is, live now. I'm going to see if I can break through, get some, look at me. Look at me watching myself. Oh my gosh. Stepmom Lauren's here. So I feel like hopefully everybody else can figure this out at some point. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to run through some of the biggest names and notes. What's going on? So the best way I can launch out this video. So if you've stuck with me through the first opening 2 minutes of me rambling, let's go through some of the biggest start-sit questions of the entire weekend. We'll start off with that Jags and Chiefs game. A lot of people are concerned. I really like Blake Bortles in this matchup. Little worried about what Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to do. Blake Bortles without Leonard Fournette has been much better throughout the course of his career. He averages 25 fantasy points without Leonard Fournette. He averages 19 when he's in there. So if you're following that logic, you would expect that he would come out and have a pretty good game against a Chiefs defense. It's not very good. They're allowing 25 points per game to quarterbacks. So this feels like a pretty good game despite the rain, despite everything else. I feel confident in Blake's superior this week. I would start him. Patrick Mahomes, I'm not going to say anything bad about Patrick Mahomes. I feel if you're in a DFS league, you would definitely want to avoid him. If you look at it, you would look at the Jags defense. The Jags defense has allowed 3 touchdown passes this season. That ranks first in the NFL. They've allowed 164 passing yards per game. 164 in the days modern NFL to allow 164 passing yards per game. That's pretty good. A passer rating of 81.3, 60% completion percentage. I'm not telling you, if you have Patrick Mahomes in a season-long league, and unless you've had Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, somebody like that, I would probably stick with him. That would be my thing. But it's interesting. It's a tough matchup. Obviously, a little bit tougher for Tyreek Hill. I'm downgrading him a little bit. Kareem Hunt gets downgraded a little bit. Really love TJ Yeldon this week. So that's a pretty good matchup. Let's just run through these games. We'll run through them. You guys can make your decisions on your own. Oh, look at that. There's some questions on the chat. Let me see if I can kind of mix this around. Maybe I can see this. There's 2 of us. There's 2 participants. So it's to an audience of 2. But that's okay. We'll regrow the brand via YouTube. I wouldn't like to abandon Facebook altogether. Tennessee and Buffalo. Buffalo, I'm not playing anybody there. Josh Allen, of course, in Superflex leagues. The Tennessee defense is a lot tougher than people give them credit for. Also, I love Corey Davis this week. He's going to have a little bit of a tougher matchup, but he is still the guy who is the most targeted in that offense. Dion Lewis is a better play for me this week. Derrick Henry. I broke up with him on Good Morning Football. That was tough. But I like Dion Lewis. I like Corey Davis in this one. Vegas in the house. He's watching. What's going on? Ryan and Goff are both stardoms. Who would you go with this week? I love Matt Ryan as my number one quarterback this week. He's going up against the Steelers. That Steelers defense has given up a lot of fantasy points all around the place to a lot of different people. I start him. He's my number one guy. Ben Roethlisberger is actually my number two guy. Both of these defenses are very susceptible. I start everybody. I want all parts of all of this game. We've seen it a couple of times this year that anytime we go out there and we anticipate one game to be a shootout, lopsided, scoring affair, it's kind of held true. And I like this game a lot. Matt Ryan is my number one guy, so I would go with him. Goff has been great, and I would never want to take anything away from Jared Goff. You know, that offense has been amazing, but I'm still going to go with that guy of that thing. Matt Ryan, as it were. I got so excited that we had a question. Yeah, they're both good. I mean, listen, they're both good. You're negotiating from a position of strength. I know a lot of people always say, like, it's a good problem to have. No, it's a terrible problem to have. I play in these leagues where guys don't draft as well. And you're like, it's a good problem to have. And like, no, I'd rather not have to make this choice. Cam or Stafford, I like Cam in this week. Stafford traditionally does well, especially at home against the Deals, the Packers. Where did that question go? I wonder if I can find it. Sorry, everybody. I'm putting it. I don't know why. This is the thing. The whole reason. Good job, Neil Rank. Oh, I'm a goofball. One of the reasons I don't like using my phone. So the second question. Okay. Duke Johnson, Lindsey, TJ Yeldon, Kerryon Johnson. I like TJ Yeldon a lot this week. I wish I could find the chats. I'm trying to find the chats. I appreciate. Oh my gosh. Oh, cool. Adam Himes. What's going on? So you were the Ryan or Goff person. We got that one. We got Cam over Stafford. Okay, here it is. Duke Johnson, Philip Lindsay, TJ Yeldon, Kerryon Johnson, and then Tyler Boyd or Galladay in a flex. I like Galladay a lot. I'm going to go with him. Duke, don't like Philip Lindsay. I do like TJ Yeldon. We're going to go with him for sure. TJ Yeldon I have as a top 10 running back this week. Man, I'm so proud of the shirt I was wearing, by the way. Ready to rock it on Facebook for the 5,000 people who've been rolling through. Oh, what a disappointment. But if I get new YouTube followers, we got 10 people watching. We're doing good. This is fun. Ask questions because you've got my attention now. But I like, oh man, I'm going to lean Philip Lindsay. I like Kerryon Johnson. And I like, he's so good. I got to look down to you. Sorry, the camera's here. I should know this. I like Kerryon Johnson a lot. The Lions don't seem to. So, and I know Miss Carpenter, stepmom Lauren, is talking about Kerryon. I like Kerryon Johnson, but I do like Philip Lindsay. I know that the Broncos want to get that guy involved, Royce Freeman. You're going to get Royce Freeman involved. That's fine. I still think Philip Lindsay has a role. He's their pass-catching back. So that's all good in the hood. We like Ajayi or Lindsay. I like Lindsay again. I don't know. I feel like Lindsay's safe enough to be playing here. I know it's been a tough circumstance for a couple of weeks. Or it actually hasn't been tough. Actually, the only week that Lindsay didn't play well, he scored at least 11 fantasy points in every game he's played to completion. So as long as he doesn't go out there and throw hands, he should be a pretty good option for you. The Houston defense seems safe against the Dallas Cowboys, who are having trouble moving the ball. It's ridiculous how decimated that Cowboys offense looks. It is Zeke. That's it. And Dak Prescott, it's not the perfect quarterback. He has his issues, but you have absolutely no weapons around him. He has nobody to lean on. You took away his two best receiving targets who weren't Ezekiel Elliott, who's actually an underrated receiver. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Some of these other games to look forward to this weekend. So Denver and the Jets, we talked about that when we talked about Blake Bortles. going up there. I added as a bold prediction that Blake Bortles is going to outscore Patrick Mahomes this week. It seems like a hot take because it is. Baltimore at Cleveland. Baltimore's defense has been pretty remarkable. Ian Rappaport was saying on Good Morning Football on Sunday that they've taken kind of an approach to the second half similar to what the Golden State Warriors do, and it's kind of worked out for them. They've been playing great, especially in the second half of games. I really do believe that Baker Mayfield, though, is going to do well. I really am impressed with the way that he's playing. No, I don't get mad at people who are doing Fantasy Pros. And I understand. I think a lot of people who are going to Fantasy Pros really do favor. The Packers are a pretty good matchup. I understand. Lindsey still gets overlooked. As good as he's been this season, he still gets overlooked, which is kind of amazing to me. So I would go with Philip Lindsay in that one. Who else? Oh, here's another one I want to tell you guys about. The Raiders. Oh, wait, we got a question coming in from Adam Heim. Since Dalvin Cook is out, would you flex Latavius Murray? I'm going to be avoiding all of the running backs for the Minnesota Vikings. One of the things that concerns me about them the most is the offensive line is just getting no push. You watch the games, they try to establish the run, but it just doesn't work out for them. And they keep trying and trying again. But that offensive line looks different than it's looked in the last couple of years. They're getting no push down the field, which means a lot of those running backs are getting bottled up. And I don't think that it's necessarily a case where they're trying to showcase Kirk Cousins, but they're letting him throw the football. Similarly, I look at about 50 attempts coming from him, coming from Carson Wentz. This is going to be an old-fashioned shootout. They're going to be throwing the ball all over the field. So I am going to lean against any of the Minnesota Vikings running backs, and I'm going to go with the throwers and the pass catchers and everything else in that matchup. They're going to stop not trying to run. It's going to be kind of like a arena league game in some respects. What do we do with Kenyon Drake, though? I've got this question, and I'm starting him in the Experts League, and I don't feel great about it. I kind of fell for Kenyon Drake. I bought him at a discount. And what part of the problem, I know a lot of times people do this. They'll look at a guy like Kenyon Drake or even like LaShawn McCoy, like, well, he fell to me in the third round, but if you weren't convinced that he was good enough for the first round, why do you still think he's going to be good? It's like when you go to a discount retailer, if you're going to Kohl's to save a few bucks, then eventually you're going to get what you paid for. And even though you wanted a value, it ends up costing you in the long run because you're going to have to change out those garments. They fall apart. They do whatever. Like, you might as well have just gone and paid $80 for the shirt that you actually wanted instead of paying $12 for the closeout sale at Kohl's, and then you wear it 3 times and you're like, I can't even wash this thing because it's garbage. I feel the same way about Kenyon Drake, and I'm really disappointed. All that said, I'm giving him a go this week. I'm giving him a go that perhaps he can get some value against the Bengals. Vigilante, should you pick Trubisky off the wire? His quarterback is Wentz. Dalton is also available. Dalton's been playing so well over the course of the season, and he does this. He has a tendency to play really well. Everybody buys in, and then boom, everything gets caught on fire. It's like the Facebook feed. We had a problem with Facebook previously, thought we were past those issues, and then today they reared their head. As a matter of fact, it started on Friday. Should have thought about that. But we'll work through some of the issues. And you know what? You guys are here now, so it's fine. But I like Trubisky. I think that offense is going to be better. I don't think that he's going to throw 6 touchdown passes every week. Maybe he will. I don't know. Who am I to say? who am I to try to temper enthusiasm on Mitch Trubisky? If you're looking, I don't really feel like you need a quarterback behind Carson Wentz. You can go take a chance on somebody else that may be available to you on the waiver wire. Maybe take, people get frustrated with players all the time. I know in one of my leagues, Jordan Howard became available. And I was like, well, I almost quit the league right there. What happened? I can't wait for this to come up. Hey, everybody. No, I'm still here. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're fine. It's what happens. What happens when you hit a car? Mark Ingram is an interesting start this week. Now, the good news for anybody who wants to start Mark Ingram is they released Gillislee. So the backfield's not bottled up. It's not like he's going to have to fight old Gill for carries or anything like that. I'm still cautious about how much usage they are going to give him, even though he was working out in pads and doing all that stuff. There's still something to be said about, you got to go out and play actual football to be in shape for it. So I don't expect a heavy workload for him. They're going to kind of ease him back a little bit over the next couple of weeks. They've got a bye looming, of course. But, something I definitely keep an eye on. Also, and Vegas is not in the house, but he's in the house and he's sending me questions. Lamar Miller is questionable. Anybody who is worried about that one, that is the late Sunday game. If you have room on your roster to go pick up Freddie Blue, I would advise that. If you're a little squeamish and you want to start somebody ahead of time before we find out, hopefully we do find out before the 1 o'clock games, and I'm talking 1 o'clock on the West Coast like it should be. So before those games kick off, if you're really worried about it, you could actually start Freddie Morris. Great matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. Everybody's going all in on Matt Breida, as you should. Freddie Morris is also possible. I liken this situation to what the Chargers have been working through all year with with Eckler and Gordon, trying to figure those two out. Considering it's going to be raining in Kansas City, would you start Bortles or Dalton or Carr? I really love Derek Carr this week. And the Chargers defense is really susceptible to good passers this year. The Chargers have allowed 8 passing touchdowns. They've allowed the third most air yards per target. All 3 of those cornerbacks have given up a passer rating of 100 this season, including Casey Hayward, who figures to be shadowing Amari Cooper around. So it's a good matchup for Derek Carr. And, game script figures to be a shootout. A lot of points in that ball game. I really feel comfortable with Derek Carr. Hey, look at this. You picked 2. Yeldon, Fuller, Lamar, Lindsey, Sanders. So we gotta have Yeldon in there. And I like Manny Sanders. Yeah, that's what I do. It is pouring in Kansas City. Who that favors? To me, I've always heard this from quarterbacks. The rain doesn't bother them as much as the wind does. It's probably going to take the air out of the ball a little bit. I mean, let's be real. Wind is really the thing that bothers quarterback the most. I know that when Troy Aikman was playing, he always talked about the rain. He can't throw a wet football. It's like, dude, you're a quarterback. That's your job, bro. How can you not throw a wet football? Nick, what's going on, man? Rodgers or Dalton? Bro, Nick, what are you doing? Rodgers. That is my thing. Like, you go with Rodgers. I say this as a Bears fan. I would go with Rodgers. How is this a question? I mean, I can understand why it's a question. Let's see, Nick. But Nick's got another question. I don't know if I want to answer your other question. Why would I want to answer? If you're Dalton or Rodgers. No, I'm kidding. That's crazy. Is Mike Gubbins, is he actually watching us? But no, I like your Buck, Eckler, Lindsey. I'm going to go with Austin Eckler. The Chargers have done such a great job of working in those two running backs. Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler are both top 10 fantasy running backs. And it's amazing, you know, because that offense is so prolific. It's actually cost guys like Keenan Allen, who hasn't been as good as a lot of people anticipated coming into the season, likely a second-round pick for you. Austin Eckler's kind of usurped all of his fantasy value. Mike Williams has played well. So Keenan Allen is just a good receiver on a good team. The guy who's going to flash here and there, but is not going to be the number one receiver, or perhaps your number two if you drafted OBJ or somebody like that in the first round. Really not getting the production out of him. And he's not really coming through in ways like OBJ and Julio do. So it's disappointing. But Eckler, you know, he's got to be he's got to be out there. I think he's earned that. And Nick, I understand I understand where you're coming from. With Aaron Rodgers missing a couple of his guys, definitely is a concern. Let's be perfectly truthful there. Definitely a concern without his guys, but he's also shown that he'll target those young players. He's still got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's got Ty Montgomery, who I expect is going to see some more time as a receiver. We're also probably going to see a bigger Jimmy Graham day. So you got that going for him. So I think there's enough stuff around Aaron Rodgers to still let him be successful. Let him go up against that Lions team. They could run some more. I mean, the smart play would be to just give the ball to Aaron Jones 600 times, and he would go out there and crush it. The Lions have allowed the second most fantasy points to running backs. They've allowed the most rushing yards this year. Jose, can you elaborate on this person's workload? I can't, because we as a rule don't talk about it, but I will say the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals should do pretty well today. The strength of the Miami defense is in the secondary. So the Bengals should be able to run. So if you are interested in starting a Bengals running back, he's probably going to put up fantasy points for you. That's how much I will elaborate on that. So this has been decent. I appreciate it. And the questions started, here we go. Ricky Seals or Jeff Heuerman. Oh my gosh. You know what? I like Ricky Seals-Jones. Great matchup this week. The 49ers allow a lot of points to the tight ends. He gets targeted. Larry Fitzgerald has been ailing a little bit. This is probably somebody Josh Rosen's going to be targeting a lot. I like him. I like Christian Kirk a lot this week too. So those are some pretty good options. And who knows, perhaps, and this is straight up crazy talk, perhaps it's David Johnson. But anyways, Seals-Jones. Yeah. Devontae Adams will get you 10 points. Don't worry about all that. So you're all good. But listen, here's the thing. I got to run. I apologize to everybody who waited through this. The 11 of you who were able to hang out and do this. Subscribe, please. But if you were able to hang out and everything like that, I appreciate it. We'll have this figured out. We'll get this stuff figured out for next week. We'll have a better idea. Might just have to go back to the phone and make it backwards. But anyways, good luck to everybody. I'll talk to you. Watch NFL Fantasy Live coming up here in about just over a half hour. See you. Wait, appreciate you. I do want to stop streaming.